Well, we're joined now by Miri, who's a retired colonel from the Israeli Defense Forces and is now at the International Institute for Counterterrorism. Thanks for coming back on the program. What do you think was the decisive factor that led to Bibi Netanyahu agreeing this deal? Was it Donald Trump, basically reading him the riot act?
I'm going to answer you, but for a moment, I am also breathless after your talk now with Sharon Lifshitz. She makes me feel stronger, and I'm saying that sitting in Tel Aviv, and she's sitting next to you, and I just want to say, wow, okay? That's the resilience of Israeli people. I absolutely think that, yes, I absolutely think that the Trump administration, the change of administration, meaning the fact that not Kamala Harris, but Donald Trump, and that change from the Democratic administration to the Republican administration makes a big change. It makes a change for all of the region, not just for Israel. And I think that that is part of it. But if I can gently push back at your question, why is everybody saying all of the time that this is about Israel? Because Hamas was on board, because Hamas agreed to everything, because we believe that Hamas in May was not the problem. I gently push back at that because I think we forget who Hamas is.
Well, I was going to put that question to my Palestinian guest after this interview, but there you go. You raised the question yourself. But whether it's I'm talking to you or I'm talking to a Palestinian official, the fact that this deal was delayed by 6 months and it could have been signed. And in those 6 months, thousands of more people had to die. And the agony of families like the Lifshitzes had to continue. And the rubble had to get worse. That surely must fill you with horror.
It fills me with horror because war is horror. It also fills me with horror, and I say this openly to everybody. It fills me with horror, the idea that today Yahya Sinwar is revered around the world. The people wear T-shirts with Yahya Sinwar.
But is he really revered around the world? I don't see people wearing his T-shirts on the streets of London, Berlin, or Paris, or Washington, or
I'll show them to you. You may not have seen them, but I check them out.
But are they representative of a wider opinion?
But the thing is that in that sense, as I look at it, first of all, I don't absolve the government that I live inside of from any blame whatsoever. We were in a very challenging situation before the war started. It stepped into the war, and the issues, not just of the hostages, but of the running of this war became something political. And I say that because it's absolutely on the table. I do not think that the war could have ended in May, but that's my opinion. But I think that because of Hamas, not because of the Israeli government. Having said that, I definitely think that the Israeli government could have done more before. I wish we would have done more before, even if I think that Hamas at the time would not have fulfilled any of the things that it said it would.
And do you think that after all this horror of the last year and a few months, it is possible, or should be possible, that something good will come out of it that will last? And I'm talking here about the thing that Mr. Biden wants, and Mr. Trump may even want, a two-state solution.
Can I make the worst comparison and say that after World War II, which was a just war and an important war, at the end of the war, the world changed. And that's the only very positive aspect of every war, including this horrific war.
Yes, but how will it change?
It changes the situation.
But
at the end, as Sharon said before, between the river and the sea, as we like to call it, are 15 million people. We're not going away. We're not going away. The Palestinians, it's not Jews, Muslims, Arabs, Christians. There's so many ways to define them. We're all here, and we're going to have to find a way to live here together. And that doesn't make a happily ever after, by the way.
But do the Palestinians, after all this, deserve, and very briefly, deserve the dignity of their own self-determination, their own state?
They deserved it before, they deserve it after. Can we distinguish between the Palestinians, and I have supported the two-state solution my entire life, and Hamas, the murderous organization that planned for over 2 years the most murderous attack you can imagine?
Miri, thank you very much indeed.